Something has been happening for me lately that I've found really interesting. It's like something has changed, like something has shifted. But before I tell you guys, how I'm feeling now, I think I need to give you some context as to how things used to be. In the past, I've often reached a point with my work, with my skill set, with my creative process, where I felt satisfied with the end result. In many ways, reaching that point was a relief. I mean, especially for something like a personal project or a passion project. I mean, for most of us as creatives, simply feeling satisfied with the work that you put into the world is half the battle. I've talked a lot about this in the past on my channel, and I still stand by everything that I've said before. It's so important that we allow ourselves to be happy with our art and to accept it for what it is, and allow others the opportunity to embrace it and accept it too. This feeling of satisfaction should be sought after, but we have to be careful with it. Throughout my journey as a creative, I've noticed myself falling into this cycle. It starts with a spark of an idea that goes through tons of iterations, bounces in and out of your head. Eventually, the idea starts to take shape, and usually this is where the storyboarding, the script writing, the mood boards start to come into play. Like, this is the part where I can really begin to feel myself getting excited to actually create. But then for me, a thing happens, when your brain starts to move faster than your mouth and you kind of start tripping up on your words and kind of stuttering. That's like the best way I feel like I can describe how perfectionism affects my ability to create. And it usually always happens at this stage in my process. It's like my brain is coming up with all these amazing ideas. Of course, I want to execute them perfectly, but it's happening faster than I can even process or keep up with. Eventually, persistence and acceptance kind of win a tug of war in my brain, and I'm finally able to push through and actually complete the project. With the work complete, now I can kick back and relax and feel satisfied with what I've created. This should be the point where the whole cycle just starts over, but I've found over the years that unchecked satisfaction can lead to complacency. As simple as it sounds, this realization was a game changer for me, but I don't know, it kind of also blew my mind because, think about it. The idea that satisfaction, this thing that I've been chasing in all of my work, could ultimately be the catalyst for long periods of self-doubt and stagnation. Like, really, there's a good chance that the reason you've been in a creative rut is because you've been satisfied with what you're creating. Now, if this sounds weird or doesn't make sense, just think about the last creative rut that you were in. Now, think about the feeling you had right before you were in that rut. When I took a step back from everything, it actually really started to make a lot of sense. In order for you to recognize that you're in a creative rut, you have to measure it against something else. Looking back at my career, every creative rut that I've ever been in has come immediately after one of my greatest feelings of success or satisfaction. And I think that's because I allowed myself to be too consumed with that satisfaction that I felt. Unchecked satisfaction leads to complacency, and complacency is the enemy of progress. Think about it this way. In order to fly a rocket, it's constantly working against gravity. You need power and fuel in order to reach space. Without that power, gravity wins and the rocket will come crashing back down to the ground. For creatives, complacency is that gravity that we're working against. Like, you can coast for a bit, but if you do it for too long, you'll come crashing back down, and boom, there's your creative rut. Instead of chasing satisfaction, I've started aiming to try and be proud of my work. I've done this by completely changing the perspective that I've been viewing my work. Reflect on your work not only as the completed works of art that you shared with the world, but also as the challenges that you've had to overcome in order to bring them to life. When you stop viewing the story in your art and instead remember the story of your art, satisfaction takes a backseat to pride. Pride in my work helps my sense of growth and self-worth. It fights off my imposter syndrome, and it makes it easier for me to continue creating. Real quick, I want to tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video. Canva. It's an incredible all-in-one design application that allows me to basically take care of everything I need for my brand. I've been using it a ton for my social media lately, creating really dynamic Instagram stories, and probably most often these cinematic before and after frames where I can very quickly stack and arrange these photos. I can create a template and then just replace the photos next time I want to create a post like this. Canva is incredibly easy and intuitive to use, even if you have no design experience at all. They have thousands of professionally designed templates that will make your work stand out. You can even edit videos inside of Canva. You can pick your templates, add motion animations, add graphics, add text, but things get really interesting with the Canva Pro subscription, giving you and your team access to a massive amount more of Canva's media library and also a ton of amazing tools. They have this really awesome background remover, which makes making things like YouTube thumbnails a breeze. You can literally just click on a photo, remove the background, and with one click, easily be able to make thumbnails that really stand out. So team up and save with Canva Pro. It's just $12.95 a month for up to 5 users, so you and your team can take advantage of all that Canva has to offer. If you guys are interested at all, just head down to the link below and get a free 45-day trial. As always, I can't thank Canva enough. They've been doing a ton to support me and this channel and make these videos possible for you guys. So show them some love, show them some support. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.